Hey, guys, it's your girl Jasmine with Simply Jazzy by Design, and we are back with another tutorial. So, today's tutorial, we are going to go over, if you saw the title, you already know, I'm going to be going over my template for sublimation cheer bows. So, if you've ever created a cheer bow, you may know a little bit of how to design it. If not, that's perfectly fine. I'll take you from start to finish and we'll get it done together. So I've already created the template for you, which you can find in my Etsy shop. The link will be below in the description. So when you purchase my design, my template in Etsy, it is intended to be customized or edited in Canva. It is a Canva template that uses Canva frames. If you watch my video on how to create a custom Canva frame, then you know how to use these items. This is a custom Canva frame that I created. So what you'll receive in there is a link to the not Etsy, to the Canva template that will give you access to this first one is going to be our quad design. Then you have access to our two-sided bow. You have access to our pencil or pen or any other pointed tip mock-up, as well as our regular traditional cheer bow mock-up. Now, these are all custom frames that I personally designed, so you won't be able to find them anywhere else. They are exclusive to Simply Jazzy by Design. Congratulations, you just joined the exclusive club. All right, so just to get started, it's pretty simple, pretty easy. If you have knowledge of Canva, it is easy as 1, 2, 3. So we'll start off with something simple. I'm going to use my two-sided bow design. It is close to back to school. So we're going to do a really quick, easy, simple composition notebook for back to school hair bows. So we're going to go ahead and go to our elements. And I want to search for notebook paper, which as you can see, it's already in my recents. I've done this bow a few times for customers now. If you're using a Canva frame, you do have to use photos, not graphics, photos. So you can use a photo that you already have, a photo that you've pulled from your computer or from another site or from Google, whatever you decide to do. You can use any type of photo, but it does need to be a photo and not a graphic. So we're going to go ahead and click show all or see all on our papers to decide which piece of paper we want to use. I like this one here. It is a pro feature. Of course, if you highlight it, if you put your mouse over it, you'll be able to see if it's pro or free. I do have the pro version of Canva, so that's not an issue for me. If you do not have the pro version of Canva, you can always go to Google and find a photo that you want to use. So I'm going to go ahead and click my paper. And I'm going to bring it over. If you just hover over one of your frames, it will automatically fill in that frame. This is 2 separate frames, so you'll be able to put 2 separate designs in these. This design is set up for a 28-inch cheer bow. I set it up that way to make it as easy as possible for those of you that are sublimating. If you have a printer that only has a allowance of 8.5 by 5, I hope that it does at least do 8.5 by 5 by 14. So that is what we're printing in. You'll be able to print 2 different panels of the 14 inches, which when you put those together, 14 and 14 give you 28. So we'll design it as a 28-inch cheer bow. So here's our paper. For the sake of this, I don't want it to show this big white part up at the top. So I'm going to double click it and it allows me to go back to my paper. We're going to go ahead and increase that a little bit just so I have the option to bring it up so that I'm only showing the lines on the paper. If you double click it, you're able to move it around and resize it to be what you want. And then once you click off of it, it's still going to only be what fits inside that frame, but you have some control over how you want what looks inside that frame. If I wanted the red, I can just move it over to where the red line shows, but I don't. So I'll move it back over and as far up as I can. And there is my notebook paper. Same thing for the other side. I want a composition notebook. So I'm going to type in composition notebook under elements. And it's going to bring up some, since I'm already in photos from the last time that we found the notebook paper, it's still going to keep me in the photo section, which is perfect. And we'll just scroll down and find a composition notebook that we like. I usually use this one right here at the top. And I know you're thinking, oh, that's going to have to be too big to fix it, because you just need a little bit of it. So we're going to go ahead and put that into our box. And because of its design, we need a bigger area to be able to fill this. I don't want the label part here in the middle. I want to create my own label. I don't want to bring it all the way over here because I don't want the black line. And if I bring it this way, I still don't have enough to fill my entire piece. So what I'm going to do is first, I'm going to turn it to 90 degrees. You can also go here and click 90 degrees to turn it. Then I'm going to move her over and increase my size from there. Just want to increase it large enough to where I don't have any of that black line at the top. This piece here, I don't want it in my picture. And I'll just fit it in. As you can see, the grayed out area is what's not there. The darkened in area here is what is going to show within my frame. Click off of it. Now I have a piece of notebook paper and a cover of the composition notebook. Now that we have the composition notebook, we want to go ahead and get the front of the composition notebook. So it's going to be, we're going to type in composition notebook again. This time we're going to go look at the graphics. We've already filled in our frames, so now we can start using the graphics. Me personally, I do like to use this one here. So that's what we're going to click. And we're just going to move it over. We want to bring it up not completely at the bottom. This is if you're using the standard traditional cheer bow cut, because you're going to fold these pieces here in half and cut the, I don't know what the spike, I guess you could say the spike ends. So when we fold it, this here will be as high up as we cut. And then this will almost be like at the bottom of our bow. So you don't want to bring it all the way to the bottom to where you end up cutting off your design. And you also don't want to move it too far up to where it's not just on the bottom tail, but it's more into the rest of your design. All right, so now that we have that, let's go ahead and add someone's name. Really simple. I'm going to hit text. And we're going to do the second one, because we don't need it to be too huge. We can resize it at any time. It really doesn't matter which one you use. And we're going to use a name. So I'm going to use the name Kelsey for this one. Now, when it comes to fonts, it's completely up to you what font you decide to use. But I like to, when I'm doing back to school items, I like to look through the school fonts. So when Canva set up their fonts, they also set up categories, which makes it so much easier in my life. Sometimes you know what type of font you want, you just don't know exactly the name of it. So if you click on that name, and up here in our font box, I'm going to drop down, and it gives me all these options. If you click within this box that says to try these other things, try calligraphy or try open sans, if you click on inside of that box, it'll then bring up subcategories that you can search through. If you go ahead and click this arrow over to the right, click a few times, and like I said, for this, my favorite category is school. So we're going to click school. This is where you'll find all those cool and funky school looking fonts or things that people have used in the past for items that were for school. I am going to just click through a few, depending on who it's for. I try to get like a little bit of a feel for the person when I'm clicking the fonts. So if I'm making this for a little girl who's going like say to kindergarten, we don't want to use anything cursive because they can't read cursive. And we don't want to use anything that is too loopy. Sometimes you have things that are not necessarily cursive, but they're more than what they know how to read in normal fonts. So they're just now starting to learn how to read so they can read normal fonts. So I want to make this to where she can read it and her friends can read it and say, oh, you have your name on your bow. All right, so this is, I like this one here. We're going to resize it just enough to fit within that. And if you're having a hard time seeing it, you can always increase your size and go down. That way you can get a better look at what you are doing. If you want it to be specifically on the line, on this bottom line, you can resize it and make it smaller, of course, but I'm not really caring too much about the lines of this. It's as if we just write the name all the way across the notebook. And now that I have the name, I want to go ahead and change the color. I want to change it to red, something nice and bold, so that you can see it on the bow. I like red, black, and white together, so that's what we're going to go with. All right, now this bow is ready to print. If you are going to go ahead and print it without using the mock-up, you're good to print. All you need to do is go ahead and go to share. If you're using it directly off this template, you can go to share, download. You need to download a PDF print. And then under select pages, you can go to all pages. And I'm sorry, not all pages. Select the drop down next to all pages, and then you would just print that. Save that one page that you wanted to save. In this situation, we have now made the design. Now we want to create a mock-up. So similar to saving it to print, we're going to save a PNG with a transparent background. And we are going to save just this page. So I'm going to go ahead and download that. So we are saving this as a photo. Because remember, we said that when we use our Canva frames, we have to use photos. So we're creating a photo of the design we just created. All right, now that that is saved, we are going to scroll on down. We have two different types of bows here. This one is used more so when you are using the pencil designs or pen designs or crayon designs or glue designs, anything that has a pointed tip on one end and then a flat end on the other. And then here we have just the traditional cheer bow. Maybe you're not doing it for back to school. Maybe it's just for a regular cheer bow, which is perfectly fine. Whatever you decide to use this template for is completely up to you. So we'll go ahead and we have our mock-up here. We're going to go to uploads, upload files. And since I have this pencil design here, I'll show you guys how to use that mock-up, but we won't go through how to create that design. So let's go ahead and go to upload files. Then we're going to go to this one here. Open. Open. All right, now we're going to give that some time to load. Now that it's loaded, we're going to go and click on our design. And it's completely up to you. You will have to do all the pieces separate, but it's completely up to you where you start. I like to start at this bottom corner since it is typically the not hardest, but the one that takes the most playing with, where the name is. So wherever, of course, you know, it's going to go opposite side. So you decide which one you want at the front. I do want the name to be in the front at this bottom. So that's what we'll do. So I filled in that piece, and of course it looks a little wonky. We'll double click that again. We're going to do some upsizing, and we're also going to do some turning on this one. So it just takes a little bit of playing with to make sure that you're getting it all the way in there. Of course, you can, like I said, scroll in again. And we want to make sure that the entire bow is filled as well as the name is showing. If you want to size it down some, you're more than welcome to. It's however you decide to fill this and get your design in there, long as you know what your customer wants, or as long as you know what you want to see when you fill this in. You can adjust it and move it as you see so fit. So there's that end of it. And if we're keeping with the same side, then we can go ahead and fill this one. And you're going to do just about the same thing. Of course, we just need this little piece here. And just give me a second because it takes a little bit of playing with and maneuvering to get that. It's just making sure that it fills it completely, right? We'll click off of there. And now we have that side, so stinking cute. Then we're going to go ahead and repeat the same process here and here. If you want to keep this straight up and down, you're more than welcome. Of course, it will probably not be straight up and down when you print it because, like I said, it's going to have a little bit of curve. It's going to because of the way you fold the bow. So there's that side. If you want to turn it, you can turn it. The white is a little bit harder to see. So let me increase this a little bit. So we're going to turn this one a little bit. Okay. We're going to go ahead and turn this one just a little bit. If you want to make them even, you can turn this one and try to line up the lines. So try to line up that line. It's lined up. It's good. Then click off of it, and that's almost, meeting. Now, this centerpiece is also a photo. Most of the time, I don't put a photo in it. Most of the time, I'm just going to fill it with a solid color. And that's perfectly fine. You can just click it and click on a solid color, and now that's black, so works for me. All right, so there we go. That is the mock-up for that bow. Like I said, I'll quickly show you how to use this mock-up as well. It's pretty much the same. The only difference is with this pencil here at the end. You would go ahead and still the same, resize and turn. Now, these are a little bit different because what you care about is not the same. What I mean by that is I want this pencil point to kind of be the main thing that is in this. It may not fit completely in there. You see this part of the pencil is out, but I just want to make sure that that complete tip is filled with that black. So it comes out perfectly the way I want. Then the next thing, other side you want to worry about is this eraser. Turning that and increasing it. Same thing, I just care about making sure that that eraser fills it enough. All right, and that's the eraser. Then with this top piece for your mock-up, you can either choose to click it and go to color and then just select the color and fill it in, or you can fill it in with the actual photo. It's completely up to you. This center I would also do in that color. And that is the pencil bow. If you guys use the template to make the bow. This is how it will look for those with the pointed end and then the flat end for the mock-up. So this here is what we created together. And this is what it looks like on the mock-up. Now for the quad design, it's going to go it's going to go across. So whatever you want to be on one side, of course, remember that whatever is at this top part is going to be what's at the bottom. They're going to go opposite. So just remember that it's going to be red, red, yellow, yellow. That's how the design will go. And you'll just decide which one you want on the top, which one you want at the back, because one of these is going to show a little bit more. Same for the top pieces. You'll fold this like any traditional cheer bow, one side over the other, and zip tie it. I do apologize for that. Sounds like someone's riding by in a monster truck at this time of night. But that is how you would create the design for this one. So I hope that information was helpful. If you decide to use this mock-up and put it on someone, the easiest thing to do is to go onto Google and find the back of someone's head, or even in Canva, you can search photos of the back of someone's head, and make a design out of that. So if we're doing a quick back to school flyer, you can go to elements and type back of hair. I think that's what I used before. And go to photos. Of course, you want a photo. So most of the time, of course, you want to try to find a girl or whatever, or a cheerleader or something. But for the sake of time, we are just going to select someone random. All right, I like the way her hair is kind of over to the side. I know she's not a student or anything, but it's fine. We'll pretend like she's a student. You can use it completely like this, or you can go ahead and edit that photo and remove the background if you have Canva Pro. All right, now that, sorry, let's go ahead and group this so we don't lose any elements. Now that we have her, we're gonna go ahead and make her a little bit bigger. Right, then we'll take her to the back. No, position, I'm sorry. To the back. And now we have this little hair bow. You can resize it however you need. And bam, she has a hair bow on hair. Probably not the best hairstyle for it, but just simply showing you how you can do that. And from there, you can go ahead and add a background to it or whatever other elements you want to do. But now she's wearing your bow, and you can now use it as a complete mock-up. The one that I have created, the last one I created recently, was this one, which just had to delete that information real quick. This one here. So you see it's a girl with the back of her head. There's the bow, and some other designs. So guys, I didn't want this to be a super long video or anything. It wasn't much that we needed to go over. It's just simply how to use that design. And that is available on my Etsy shop. If you want to go to my Etsy shop, the link will be down below in the description. You'll download that. It will give you it'll give you a PDF file with the link to the Canva template. You can edit in Canva, print from Canva, all of the above. If you want to pull in other elements, of course, you can always do that. I'm so glad you guys stuck with me while we went over this design. Don't forget to comment and let me know what you guys want to see more of. If you want to see some actual cheer team designs with these, let me know. If you want to see more back to school bow designs, let me know. My goal is to make sure that I can spread my information as far as I can, but I want to make sure that it's something that you guys actually want to learn. I know I still owe you that bubble video, So when we do the bubble labels, we will also do a template on how to create custom bubble wands with a laser cutter, or how to create the files for you to send to a laser cutter to create custom bubble wands for you. So that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you for sticking with me. Have a blessed evening or day whenever you watch it. Bye, guys.